we've got kind of not more than 90 airports, 200 car parks, all using our platform across the world. So yeah, I mean, really going back to what you asked said in the beginning, it is, and it all kind of dates back to actually spending a bit of time together, not thinking about remote working, and having a bit of opportunity just to talk through what we could do with the business.
Welcome to the Merseyway Innovation Centre podcast, where we explore the power of unexpected encounters and spontaneous connections. Join us on our journey as we delve into the world of casual collisions, those chance encounters and unexpected conversations that have the power to redirect our paths and shape our destinies. Get ready to explore how a single moment can change everything.
Hey, welcome to the Merseyway Innovation Centre for another podcast, another Casual Collision podcast. And today I'm joined by Rhodri. Welcome, Rhodri. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Rhodri, who you are and what you do, that kind of thing.
So, yeah, I'm married. Been married for 25 years now.
Well
so, and I've got one daughter. She's at Leeds University at the moment. So, and then we live out in Bramall in Stockport.
Okay.
So, yeah, very close to here. So it's quite convenient to get into the office and stuff.
You don't sound like you're from Bramall then.
Well, actually, if I talk to my friends from down south, they'd say otherwise. They say I sound like I'm from Manchester.
That's what people say to me. Yeah, I'm a missionary from the south, and people always say to me, "Oh, you sound dead northern." And up here, you're an outcast wherever you are.
Yeah. So yeah, originally I moved around a lot when I was a kid, but all around the south of the UK. The kind of place where I grew up was in Essex. So Essex boy.
Me too.
Yeah. Oh, right. That's
Both
good.
Essex boys.
Yeah. And then I went to university at Liverpool, and that's where I met my wife now. Then we moved back down to London to do some work, and then we moved back up here because Elaine's parents are from Oldham. We moved back up here in 2000, basically.
Okay.
So,
and Stockport was the place you landed?
Not quite, actually. Originally, because Elaine's parents lived up in Oldham, so we moved there first. But certainly my job was in Stockport, where I still work now, so back in 2000. But we moved down to Stockport in 2005, basically. Our daughter was 3 or 4 then, and actually schools and stuff in Stockport are a lot better than in Rochdale, Oldham. So we actually moved down here for better education, kind of a better area than up in north of Manchester, basically. So
it's a familiar story as well, that it's always love that draws you to the place where you end up, and then also when you have your kids and they get to 3, 4. And then you're looking at schools, then you're locked, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's a nice place to be locked, I must admit. I'm the same. My kids are all now northerners, and they try to teach me how to talk.
That's right, yeah. My daughter sounds very kind of northern now compared to me, basically.
We're constantly fighting about the letter U, the sound. To that is and to us
and like Bath and Bath.
Oh, man.
And all that kind of stuff.
Constantly. Well, I know that I'm right, so it makes me feel good. So, let's talk about Stockport for a bit then. So since 2005, 2000, you would have seen the place, I suppose. What have you seen as a change? And would you have visited, the town centre, for example? Would you have come this close back then?
I mean, actually, when I first started coming here in 2000, we were in the office every single day. It was a much busier place than it is than it has been. I mean, It's got back to, in some ways, back to what it was like back in 2000. It was quite busy. Pubs on a Friday night were busy. It was a little bit rough then, I suppose, back in 2000. But there was everyone used to go out on the pub on a Friday night from work. When we first came here, we were in Regent's House, just the other side. Of the A6.
And you're right by the high street there as well, aren't you?
Yeah. And Debenhams was there and stuff like that. So back then it was actually, it felt quite busy, but it was a little bit rough. And then over the years, it kind of slowly kind of lost a bit, really, in terms of a bit of its soul. But the last couple of years, it's changed massively. There's so many nice places to go out after work. It just feels like it's really up and coming in terms of Stockport. And what I really like is, we've just moved in here I love the idea that the high street and this precinct is now changing to kind of have that mix of work and retail, and I think that is perfect.
And accommodation as well. There's
Yeah,
people moving
yeah,
into
that's
living,
right.
and I think that's going to be the biggest change.
Yeah, like the pub just up the road, near the Rhode Island Cafe, that changed into flats, didn't
Yes.
it? So yeah, there's a lot of that as well. Yeah. And in our old offices, there's a whole load of, it was all wasteland around where it was, and they've all changed into housing and
Really?
stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's changed a lot. So certainly, yeah, I think Stockport's now a great place, and we've never really, in terms of our company, we've never really considered going anywhere else like the centre of Manchester. It's just way more cost effective to be here and convenient in terms of transport links and still being able to get into Manchester.
And that's always been good.
Yeah,
That's always been good because the link
Yeah.
to London, link to Manchester from here has always been really good. It's just those other things that you've put around it that you've been talking about that have changed. Nightlife now in Stockport is really, it's great.
It's just a world away from what it was like 5 years ago. Before COVID even. It kind of lost a bit, but now it's really nice, and there's some really nice places that you can take clients out for lunch and stuff that come and visit, which is just brilliant. Yeah, we never used to go out in Stockport because there wasn't anywhere to go, but now there's loads of places to take people out to for lunch and whatever.
I agree.
Yeah.
So you've talked a little bit about your work. What is it that you do?
So I'm now the CEO of K&P Associates, or president, as our US owners like to call
You got a different
me.
name over there.
Yeah. I don't say the word president, but that's
I'd use that. I think I'd go with that.
it's on my email signature. And we started out back in 1994, so we've always been based in Stockport. I joined in 2000, but we started out just as a marketing agency. And then, this is way before the internet, really, 94. So kind of late 90s, just before I joined, the board of directors decided to move that more over to the internet. It was just starting, and I joined in 2000 as a web developer. And then kind of fast forward to now, I'm the boss now after we got bought out in October 22. And then the company itself, we're still based around the internet. So there's two parts to our company. One is K&P Digitata, which is a straightforward digital agency, builds websites for a variety of companies throughout the UK.
Which is what it was originally.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and that's how we started, basically. So we started as a digital agency. That's when I joined. We were a digital agency in 2000, and then as e-commerce and the internet grew, we grew as well and picked up a variety of clients. But then what happened is that we decided to develop a product based around e-commerce for airports, just because one of our clients was doing that. And that started back in 2014. And that really took off, as you might say, because it's airports. And yeah, we've got loads of clients throughout Europe and America, and it's all about online parking reservation at airports. So it's kind of quite a niche thing, really, in a way. You'd think, well, why did anyone do that? But actually, there's not many companies that did it. And that's the main thing we do now. That's really the majority of our business. We still do the digital agency stuff for a variety of companies in the UK, but the main thing that drives our revenue is this e-commerce platform for airports that's used throughout the world, basically.
So was it one of those see a need, fill a need kind of situations when it came about?
Yeah. I mean, in some ways, we were doing it for Manchester Airport for 15 years before we kind of realised that actually we had something here, and we decided to go out and build a new version that we could sell, and that's kind of one of the things that kind of comes from kind of meeting up and seeing people face to face, like we can do here.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah. Which leads us on to the purpose of this podcast is called Casual Collisions, and we're all about that here. Having those chance meetings that you wouldn't have planned, but they take you off in a different direction. And I know. That you guys have taken an office here because you want more of that face-to-face with the guys you work with. What value do you put behind all that?
So I think on that digital side, that digital agency we still got, I think, because they're still interested in those local connections and things like that. That I think is where it's good. We can connect with other companies that are in this office, look at if they're just starting out, look at whether we can help them out with digital services and just make connections that way. And then maybe, we can help them out with a little website build or something like that. Maybe, probably won't make us a hell of a lot of money, but connect early on. As they grow, we grow the services with them. So I think that whole kind of casual connections, making those connections early on and just saying hello to people in here in the main area is great. Really looking forward to kind of getting part of that as the rest of the company moves in. Basically.
Yeah, and we're really glad to have you as well. I mean, on the face of it though, your work that you've explained there all sounds that it could be remote. But it's those. What you're saying is to get the remote work in the first place, you need to have those connections.
Yes.
But also as a team, if you're all remote, you've probably seen effects of the fact that doesn't always work. When have you seen it when it's really worked, where you've gone, actually, we wouldn't have had that happen without us being together?
I mean, that goes back to when we had we decided to have a work. This is going way back to 2014 when we were thinking about, right, how can we really grow the business? And we had like a board meeting / workshop, decided we'd do it all face to face. And our ex-chairman at the time said, this car park booking system we just do for Manchester Airport, I think there's something in that. I think we should look at whether we can build on that and start selling it to other airports, because we were only just doing it for one airport at the time. And that just wouldn't have happened, that conversation, without that face-to-face kind of meeting way back in 2014. And then, in terms of what I kind of said already, but in terms of how that changed our business, we went out to get some money. So again, that's through connections, personal connections that I had and my managing director at the time had, to find who would give us some money. Got some money from the EU, and then we rebuilt that product from scratch as like a SaaS product, and then started just knocking on doors, ringing up airports and trying to sell it. And then we got, I think it was Aberdeen Airport. Again, it's kind of connections we'd made through Manchester over the years, and then other UK airports, and then we got into Europe. And then in 2018, again, just through a friend of a friend, we managed to get invited to present to the Port Authority of New York. So that's JFK, Newark, and LaGuardia. And we didn't think we'd have much chance. So we went out to New York World Trade Center, did a presentation, and the guy that invited us, you nailed that. And yeah, we won that.
Wow.
And then that's all the airports in New York using our platform. And then from that, it just exploded. So Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and then still growing in Europe, Munich Airport, Netherlands, France, and now we've got kind of no more than 90 airports, 200 car parks, all using our platform across the world. So, yeah, I mean, really, going back to what you asked, said in the beginning, it is, and it all kind of dates back to actually spending a bit of time together, not thinking about remote working, and having a bit of opportunity just to talk through what we could do with the business.
Knocking ideas around.
Yeah. And of course, I mean, the one bit I missed out is the end result of this was that K&P that was then sold in 2022 to a big US company. And yeah, my boss and walked away with a nice tidy sum of money. My ex-boss is now living the life. So
great.
And I think that all leads back to that one kind of face-to-face conversation we had back in 2014. Yeah,
amazing,
that just wouldn't have happened. Yeah.
So I use you guys as an example when people ask me about the success of this centre so far, and how it's being used. And you guys are using an example because you've come from a space that you had all to yourself.
Yeah.
You had a number of workstations. You've come here, you're taking less workstations because you know that when you, at your peak of when you have people in, at the peak maybe on a Wednesday, Thursday in the week, you're getting to a certain number, but it's nowhere near what your capacity up there. You've come down here, you're taking less than that, and any overflow, you're going to use our co-working space, and you're kind of using this flexible way that we work here to work with. So, is that one of your tactics to get people face to face? That because a lot of companies are struggling with that idea of how do we get people in? How do we get them back into the office?
Lights gone out.
We haven't moved enough. You've got these sensors on. Oh, I'm going to have to get up. Excuse me. There we go.
Hey, let there be light.
The sensors work. Yeah, I mean, what's your tactic on getting people into the office? How do you do that?
I mean, you're totally right. We have on the face of it, where we were before, it was a converted chapel. People came in and said it was a lovely space, but it was old. It's a proper traditional office where you've got to spend time keeping up with repairs and maintenance, and if people aren't in there every day, that kind of falls by the wayside. So one of the reasons we moved here kind of initially was it's just a much nicer space than we've got, and you guys looking after it for us, so I don't need to worry about getting the toilets unblocked or things like that. Yeah, exactly. But and then the other part is this spare space out here where people can come. Quite often I'm pretty much in every day unless I'm traveling, but if other people are in, it's quite nice for them to come out here and meet other people. Even if there aren't other people from my company here, there's other people knocking around, and it's just not as quiet, and then they can make some connections, whether that is new business or just services we could get hold of from, like, help with booking travel or stuff like that. I made some connections where there's a guy here who's a travel agent, and he said, I can help you out with booking flights to the US and the Netherlands, and I can get you a good deal. And that wouldn't have happened without
that'll be John.
Here. It was John. It was John.
John. We'll have him on the podcast soon. Definitely. He's rooting to be on here. Definitely. So from what you're saying, it seems to be a bit more that you use the tactic of carrot more than stick.
Absolutely.
So you kind of tempting people back into the office a bit more.
I think it's really important. I mean, the thing is, part of the way that we've grown since COVID has been through employing people that aren't. Most of our people still can get into the office, but there's still some people that live down in Oxford or even in Cornwall, London. So I don't think we can use the stick because we employed those people on the basis they're remote working. We want to have the carrot, so the people that are close want a reason to come in. And to be honest, to begin with, it's all about getting them in 1 or 2 days a week, really, or anyone can come in when they want, especially when we get the bigger office here. But we have a kind of concept of free lunch Thursday, so on Thursdays we try and get people and everyone gets free lunch. So
great.
So that's what we've been doing that for years.
I'll be walking past your office at lunchtime then. That's a really good idea.
So we've always done that for years, but we kind of stopped obviously with COVID, but we've definitely brought that back. So anyone that comes in on a Thursday, we go out. Well, we actually, because the numbers aren't as big as they were, we go out to lunch in Stockport now.
Great.
Take everyone out to lunch on Thursdays.
That's a great idea. Those are the tactics that work, aren't they? Yeah, definitely. And when I say carrot, I mean coffee, obviously, because the coffee machine is
free coffee here. That's great. I don't have to clean the coffee machine anymore.
It's definitely the carrot. Yeah, we love it. So anyway, Rhodri, it's been really great chatting to you, and we really appreciate you coming on the podcast. But more than that, it's great having you in the space here. And we're really excited about your growth and how you use the building and how you show others to use the building, and we champion what you're doing here. So thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. Yeah, been great talking to you.
Cheers.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for joining us. We hope this discussion has ignited a spark within you, an urge to finally have the conversation that you've been putting off, or perhaps the courage to reach out to someone new and explore where that connection may lead. Remember, it's through these connections that collaboration thrives. So don't hesitate to take the first step towards connection. Together, we can forge new paths and unlock endless possibilities.